Well, ladies and gentlemen, I really don't expect very much to come out from IGN, okay? I don't think anybody in the gaming space ever expects anything to come out of IGN, but what I do expect to come out from IGN is just pure retardation. I see this happen all the time, and it's usually from the same writers. Now, this article here about Spider-Man 2 is going to entice you a little bit because it talks about one of the most prominent characters in Spider-Man 2, ladies and gentlemen. And are you talking about Miles Morales? No, 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 no. Are you talking about Peter Parker? No, no, absolutely not. We're talking about Haley Cooper, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the deaf side quest girl is one of the best accomplishments of Spider-Man 2, according to IGN.
I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like, we're playing Spider-Man here.
In case you guys forgot who Rebecca Valentine is, it's basically the female Waldo. I really don't know what else to say other than that, but it makes a lot of sense. It says, Marvel Spider-Man 2, animators explain that the motion capture magic of Haley Cooper, lots and lots of little sensors. So let's get into this article, guys, from IGN. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says, one of the best trends in games in recent years has been a greater thoughtfulness in how diverse, here we go, characters and stories are portrayed. While that work takes a number of different forms, one critical way developers are making this happen is through improved technology, specifically around animation and motion capture. One key example is Marvel's Spider-Man 2, which saw Insomniac Games take advantage of a group of talented actors, consultants, and a lot of fun little motion capture sensors to bring the deaf character Haley Cooper and her use of American Sign Language to life. Now, Rebecca, I guarantee, couldn't wait to write this article, ladies and gentlemen. Rebecca, I've seen her articles before, and they are basically mostly about diversity, equity, and inclusion. She is one of those hires, let's be real. And it's not shocking, okay? It's not shocking. Now, I can't imagine a single person that played Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and thought that this character was the most prominent character within the game. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because there's a Twitter post from IGN basically saying that this character is one of the biggest successes in Spider-Man 2. Like, it's the most prominent thing, or one of the most prominent things in Spider-Man 2. And I just find it hilarious because this is a game that is supposed to be about so many different things that a side quest character really shouldn't be the discussion or the focal point, but it is because of the checkboxes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be real. The multiple checkboxes that Haley Cooper checks off is very important for people like this to write full articles on. It says, last week at the Game Developers Conference, a group of animators on Marvel's Spider-Man 2 gave a talk entitled Thwips and Hugs, the animation of Marvel's Spider-Man 2. In it, the group discussed the intricacies and challenges of animating elements of the game, such as the Sandman fight and various QTEs, but they kicked off with the story of Haley, whose portrayal may be one of Spider-Man's two most impressive accomplishments. Haley was introduced as an original character in the first Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, but got an expanded role in the sequel as she and Miles start dating, including a mission all on her own. During the talk, Associate Animation Director Lindsay Thompson explained the work that went into ensuring Haley was an accurate and thoughtful portrayal of a young, deaf, black teenager growing up in New York City. So, I gotta imagine that. I wonder, where did you get your references from? Because you're talking about 13% of the population. And then you take that 13% of the population and you cut it in half for the women in the population. Then you got to take that number and cut it in half again, or maybe a little bit more than that, for the teenagers in that population. And then you got to take that number and basically nuke it to try to find a young, black, female, deaf girl who can then help you do an accurate representation. Like, really? Seriously? I don't understand. I don't understand, and I will never get why this is so important. You could have just made the character. There's plenty of resources available online that would allow you to understand different things like ASL. You can even hire your good old consultants, which you did. You hired Sweet Baby Inc., I'm sure, for this game. And then after hiring them, you have all of this nonsense being put in when you should have just made a focal point on the gameplay itself. Spider-Man 2 only sold, I believe, 1/3 compared to Spider-Man 1. It is very clear that while the game is still successful from a numerical standpoint, it is obviously nowhere near as successful as the first counterpart. Then it says to start with, Haley was portrayed and fully motion captured by deaf actor Natasha O'Feely, who herself frequently offered guidance and suggestions stemming from her own experiences. Insomniac also hired deaf consultants from Hypernova to answer questions about deaf culture, consult on scripts, and interpret the scripts into ASL. Thompson said the consultants went over every single scene and shot that had ASL in it to make sure the performances were clear and understandable. It's amazing that they hired all of these consultants, all of these different people, to consult on one character who is a side character who has one mission to her, apparently. Like, this is a lot of work for one particular character, but it's because they know that they have to get this character as close to their virtue signal idea as possible. They have to make sure that this character checks off every damn box imaginable to make full use out of her. Because while she only has one side mission, while she is literally just a side character and is not that prominent, ultimately, she is a heavy virtue signal character for them to utilize. She is more important in their eyes than Peter Parker ever will be. I'm just being real with you. They don't care about Peter Parker nowhere near as much as they care about making sure that this character shows their virtue signaling virtue. It says, for animators, getting accurate mocap data was critical. Insomniac ensured every hearing cast member had a deaf body double on the mocap stage and changed up how the actors will record different scenes depending on the complexity of the ASL being used. We had to figure out the best way to shoot our hearing cast spoken performances along with our deaf body doubles that will work best for Natasha to play against, Thompson said. For one particular scene, we ran them side by side so Natasha had signing people to play off of, but could also still see Nadij, Jeter, who plays Miles Morales, and Griffin, who plays Genki Lee, doing their speaking performance. Each deaf cast member had their own interpreter so we could all communicate on set. And we also had the Hypernovas on stage to help determine the scripts with the cast and plan out signing performance. So, again, a lot of work. There is a lot of work going into a character that is simply just a side character. You know what I mean? And I can understand, and I'm gonna be honest, I can understand wanting to get the ASL portion right. That is obvious, right? Like, if you're having a deaf character, let's not do something stupid by making them sign something that they are obviously not signing, right? Because, you know, God forbid you put something in the game that you say is one thing and is not meant to be that. You know what I mean? It's not like you guys put in a Cuban flag for a Puerto Rican character. You know, if something like that were to happen, that would be ridiculous, right? Yeah. Anyway, but having all the actors side by side at once wasn't always the ideal formation. Sometimes it made sense to have all of our deaf cast standing and playing against each other, but other times it was more important to have Natasha face-to-face with Nadij while his body double was signed next to or in front of him so that they can match his performance. Sometimes the main cast would even perform the signs themselves for longer conversations. The body doubles would perform the signing to ensure all complex signs and ideas were accurate. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, this article is completely dedicated to a side character, okay? I want to be very clear. It's a side character. They don't make this kind of work for the other side characters, right? All the other side characters in the game, they didn't put this much effort into. They don't talk about it. They don't make virtue signaling articles about it, but they made it about this character. Why? Because she's a black female. She's deaf, and they can virtue signal for it because right now, especially in today's time, with the conversation happening between consultancy firms and black girl gamers injecting themselves everywhere, I think the topic right now is very hot to make an article about a black female deaf girl in a video game. So I'm not too shocked that good old Rebecca, who is an absolute pro at virtue signaling, decided to make this article right now at this point in time. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.